I'm Jess. Welcome to my channel, Jess's Modern Life. I'm really excited for today's video. So I'll be doing 5 of my favorite no prep lunches made with pantry staples. So all of these lunches will take 5 minutes or less to prepare, and they're using things that you should have in your pantry, fridge or freezer, so you're not having to duck out to the shops. They are budget friendly, which is always super important to me, and kid friendly. So something that your kids will actually eat, which is very important. Now, if you guys tried any of these recipes, please head over to Instagram. My Instagram is Jess Modern Life and tag me. I'd love to see how you guys go. Hope you enjoy the video.
Okay, so the first meal I'm making are quesadillas. So this is one of Blake and my favorite lunches. It's just so easy to make, and you can basically use up any spare veggies you've got hanging around. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. So just finely chopping some capsicum. I find that diced capsicum or shredded carrot add a really good kind of texture. Otherwise it can be a little bit soft sometimes. So just finishing that off now. You can see I've got some tortillas, so I'm using whole grain just so it's a little bit healthier, but doesn't really matter which. So I find that I usually have 2 tortillas worth because I'm hungry, but usually one for Blake, who's 2.5 is perfect. So I also really like to add avocado when it's a good price, just kind of like a spread on the bottom as well. Also, yeah, adding a little bit of health factor and adds a nice creaminess. If for some reason, avocado is too expensive or you don't have it, go for mayo. So I add refried beans for mine. So it's not the most budget-friendly option. It's about $3 for one of those jars in Australia, but you can definitely do like black beans mashed up if you're on a bit of a budget. But yeah, great source of protein and a cheap meal as well. So you can see I've just added some frozen corn, some diced up tomato and diced up capsicum. But really you can add whatever you want, guys. I like to add some lemon juice for flavoring, and then also some cumin, salt and pepper. So I always add those to Blake's, and then I add some extra stuff to mine. So I'm off hunting for cumin, I guess. Really need to get one of those spice racks that rotate, but my system works, I guess. Just takes me a little bit longer. Here we go, finally. So yeah, adding some pepper, salt and cumin, like I said. Also paprika I find is really delicious on this. Again, whatever you got, guys. Doesn't have to be Mexican themed. If you've got some cannellini beans, you can make it kind of Italian, add some some feta in it, some tomato paste as the bottom, whatever works. So I'm just using plain cheddar. It does melt a little bit better if you do use grated, but I'm lazy. Of course, this is mine, so sriracha, because that's life, and then that spicy jalapeno sauce, which is like the best thing in the world. So I'll drizzle that all on, add cheese, and then we'll be ready to cook it. So I'm currently cooking this one in a skillet, so I've just added some spray oil. I find that it just adds a really good texture, makes it nice and crunchy, but if you're in a rush, I often just chuck it in the microwave for 30 seconds just to melt the cheese, and it's perfect. So yeah, you really don't need to bother with the extra pots if you don't want. Okay, so you can see it's nice and crispy and yummy, and I'm attempting to cut it with one hand and failing, but whatever. Yeah, so like I said, when you cook it in the pan, it really does create that really nice crisp outside. You can kind of see the inside, so everything's kind of, all the cheese is melted, everything's all delicious. Yeah, one of my favorite meals, so versatile, you can use whatever you've got, and delicious. Okay, so the next meal I'm going to make is English muffin pizzas. So I used to have this a ton as a kid. Obviously, English muffins are really versatile, so they're just a handy sort of bread to have. So you can actually store these in the freezer. They freeze really well, and then you can just kind of defrost them out at room temperature for a couple of hours. Or of course you can toast them, which kind of makes this whole process a bit quicker. So for these particular ones, I'm using ham, So I'm going to do Hawaiian pizzas. So with the ham, I've also frozen that. So again, really handy tip, guys. Just again, leave it to defrost overnight or even for a few hours is fine. Sometimes there's a little extra liquid, so you can see I drained that out before. I'm basically just chopping it really fine. But yeah, you guys can use whatever toppings you've got. Again, this is all about using leftovers, using what you've got. Now with the cheeses, again, whatever you got, guys. Obviously cheddar's the cheapest, so I'm just going to grate up some cheddar to sprinkle over the top at the end. But if you've got some leftover mozzarella, parmesan, go for gold. They're all going to taste delicious. So some other flavors I really like of these sort of English muffin pizzas is I absolutely love like capsicum and ground beef. I find that makes a really delicious combo. You could of course go kind of more vegetarian veggie forward style, so you could have some roast pumpkin, some chicken and some feta. I find that's always a really delicious combination. Yeah, whatever you guys have got, but I do love Hawaiian. I know it's controversial, but I stand by my decision. So I'm just using tinned pineapples. Again, this stuff keeps in the cupboard for ages. You can use it for multiple things. So really handy to have around. So yeah, I'm just dicing it up really fine to be able to just chuck on top. I like to have everything ready to go so I can just assemble it all at once. So now for the assembly. So the sauce I'm using is just a pizza sauce that I've just bought from Woolworths. So these are actually really inexpensive. I do tend to make my own pasta sauces, but for these sort of pizza sauces, I find that it takes a long time to kind of get it concentrated enough, and it actually works out quite expensive to make your own. So yeah, I've just bought that pizza sauce, just lathering it on now. For any sort of pizzas, it's so much easier to put it on with the back of a spoon than a knife. Trust me. So yeah, more sauce because sauce is life. You'll see whenever I'm making anything, I'm all about sauce, so I'm always adding extra here. Then of course we just put some ham on top, however much you feel like. Now you'll see I don't actually add any herbs onto these pizzas. That's because the pizza sauce has Italian seasoning on it. But if you've just got plain kind of like concentrated tomato sauce, then definitely some Italian herbs sprinkled on top is super delicious. Adding the pineapple and then just, yeah, whatever amount of cheese you guys like. I kind of go for gold. You'll see I kind of stack it all up on there. I like my toppings, so yeah, always a lot of cheese. And these are them straight out of the oven. Yeah, delicious. One of my favorite meals. So the next one is using some of that tinned tuna you've got in the cupboard. Everyone's got it. I know you do. It's like when you're going through a health kick, you think you're going to eat it for every snack, every meal, and you don't. I actually really love the ones in olive oil. I just find the flavors really good and I like the chunky. So I'm going to make two different sort of flavors, I guess, to give you guys an idea. So the first one is a creamy corn, I guess. So you can see I just added some corn, just added some mayo. Look, it's all based off the texture and flavor you guys like. So there's no real recipe. Just go for it and taste it as you go along. So obviously with anything like this with tuna, salt and pepper is really important. So you can see I'm adding that now. And I actually added later on some citrus. So just some fresh lemon I found really took it to a next level. So I'm just preparing some veg for a second one. So again, it's about using up everything you've got, guys. So if you've got some leftover veg in your in your crisper in your fridge, we want to make sure you use it. So you can definitely just mix tuna with whatever you got. So I had some leftover corn thins that were going stale, so decided to use them up. So the first one I'm making is really simple. So just avocado, cherry tomatoes, oh, of course, salt and pepper and lemon, and then the tuna on top. Simple idea, but I think sometimes we forget about the simplest ideas are often the best. So just arranging some tuna on top, however much you want. I decided the tomatoes on top looked prettier, so that's what I'm doing there. And then just piling the tuna mix on the second corn cake. And there they are. I find if I give Blake 2 different options, she tends to be more open to eating whatever I've got. So that's why 2 different flavors went down really well. So the next one I'm making is a healthy version of PB&J. So you can see I've got the kind of healthier peanut butter, so no added oil, no added sugar, no added salt. I'm actually mixing it with cottage cheese. Controversial, I know, but I find it really, really delicious. It definitely increases the protein in the meal, so it'll keep you and your kids fuller for longer and just kind of give you that sustained energy across the day. So that's my tip for kind of turning PB&J into a proper meal. Of course, a dash of maple syrup. So I find the mixture of the cottage cheese and peanut butter together isn't overly sweet. So that little bit of maple syrup does make a big difference. Of course, adjust to your own taste, guys. If it's not sweet enough for your kids, add some more maple syrup and their taste buds will adjust eventually. You can kind of reel back on that as time goes. So instead of jam, I'm just doing some diced strawberries. They're amazing at the moment and a good low sugar option. You can actually make chia seed jam, which is delicious, which I'll leave a link for. So you can see that first bowl I showed was actually with Greek yogurt. So if your kids are a little funny about texture, it's still a really great option. I think I did about two or 3 tablespoons of Greek yogurt to about 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. Again, just whip it up, taste it, make it to your liking. So for these ones, I'm actually doing roll-ups, which is a little bit of fun. So again, using those tortillas, we want to be using ingredients across multiple different recipes. You want to have stuff stored at all times in your cupboard that you're actually going to be able to use in multiple recipes. So yeah, I find tortillas are perfect for so many things. So you can see I just spread some of the peanut butter Greek yogurt mixture onto the half of the tortilla and then added some strawberries, and I'll just roll it on up. I find the roll kind of makes it more fun for the kids and a bit easier to eat as well. On the second one, I'm going to add the cottage cheese. So Blake will eat either. She loves both. I personally prefer the cottage cheese, but I think the Greek yogurt, is a little bit sweeter. Usually, even with the normal Greek yogurts, there's a little bit more kind of sugar and fat into it. So whatever floats your boat, whatever you guys got. You could use ricotta as well. That would be delicious. You could add a little bit of cinnamon for flavor. And of course you can add different fruit. Banana in this would be delicious as well. Ooh, and chocolate. Chocolate makes everything great. Okay, and there's the finished product. So good, guys. So good. Okay, so final recipe. So this is a great, easy lunch using up the random rice packets you have in your cupboard. So I know everyone has one of those flavored rice packets that you just thought you'd use, you know, with a side of chicken, whatever, never got around to it. It's probably been sitting in the back of your cupboard. Now's the time to use it. So I'm personally using it to make a salad. But the great thing about this is you can just add whatever you've got. So whatever leftover meat, whatever leftover veg. So you can see here I've got some just kind of chicken strips. So again, I just had a few measly ones left over after a meal. We didn't need that much. So instead of just like it hiding in the back of your freezer, use up them. So I've pre-cooked it. Again, I did say this was under 5 minutes, so you can use a roast chook, deli meat, whatever. It's just what I had, which is what this is all about. So you can see I'm using a lot of the same produce across these different meals simply because it was in the same week. So I like to, you want to use up everything you get. Often with these things like capsicum, I get them cheaper in bulk. So that's why you'll see that I've used it in a lot of things. So the rice is all ready to go. So this rice is a Mexican rice, which has beans and flavoring in it. Super delicious. But again, you could use like the fried rice version, add in some pre-hard-boiled eggs, add in some diced ham, pre-cooked broccoli, whatever. Okay, so I'm making my salad. Blake's helping me, a little cutie. So I got the lettuce, capsicum, tomato. I know rice on salad sounds weird, guys, but I do it all the time. So my Mexican salad that I have constantly has rice in it. Just fills you up a bit more. I need those carbs in my life still. And then I've got the chicken strips, so just slicing these up so they look all pretty. Now you'll see I use the same toppings for everything. Don't judge me. Okay, so corn on top. So for this particular one, I'm going to add sriracha again because I love it. But, you know, peri peri mayo would be amazing. You could do like a balsamic sort of dressing. You know, whatever, guys. Cottage cheese. Okay, I know you guys think I'm obsessed with cottage cheese. I am a little bit. Just makes such a good sauce. So when you mix everything together, amazing. So you can see Blake's place is a little different. She's not going to eat a big old salad, but there's my amazing, delicious salad.
Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay safe, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.